I like finding unique games that are hybrids between different genres, something that subverts my expectations. And such is the case with a game like Monsters Are Coming, Rock and Road. This game is a little bit hard to define, but I guess I would call it a horde survival mixed with a tower defense, where you are slaying enemies and gathering resources to build up a mobile castle. Survive as long as you can, reach safety. That is your objective. Sounds simple enough, but in practice can be pretty challenging. The soundtrack is pretty great as well. That certainly does help. Let's go ahead and start up a new game, and out of all the different castles I have available, I'll just play with the standard one, since it's easy enough to understand. We'll play on a normal road at a normal difficulty, since I don't have everything unlocked. So, here we go. We are now on a moving castle. It's going to be traveling in one straight line along this road, trying to reach safety. And behind it, these little enemies are going to be spawning in large groups. If they can reach your castle, they'll do damage to it. If your castle loses all of its HP, you lose the game. Pretty simple to understand. Don't allow that to happen. Now, we can run around and kill these enemies ourselves. As you're seeing, we'll gather up the crystals and drop them off, and that's how we're going to level up. Leveling up your tower is extremely useful because you can get extra upgrades. Oftentimes, they are going to be some sort of a tower defense. Sometimes they are economic upgrades that make your character more effective. That can be good. I'm going to go ahead and pick up a freezing bellows in the back, just because if enemies do catch up, I can slow them down. That's not a bad thing. But the other thing you can do, in addition to killing enemies, is you can start harvesting resources along the road, which is what you're seeing me do along here. I'm chopping down these trees. Lots of resources can do different things, and they end up being very helpful for you. Hold on, I see a special tower over here. I'm going to free it from these evil roots, and they can clear out some enemies for me. Thank you. That's great. Burn them all, I say. Burn them all. Anyway, what's going to be happening is you can gather up lumber, which increases the attack speed of a castle's towers. Stone heals the castle if it takes some damage, and gold can be spent at a shop. We have only economic upgrades available here. I think some extra gold is not a bad idea, since I'll be able to deposit lots of experience crystals and still get some resources. That's not a bad option for me. But pretty much you always want to be alternating between killing enemies if you think that you're about to get swarmed to death, or harvesting whatever resources and XP that you can. So we'll just go ahead and run back over here, drop this all off, we get another level up. Another upgrade to our towers. Okay, you can place down multiple copies of towers, or if you have, let's say, the same tower already placed, I could upgrade this to a level 2 Blizzard Bellows. I don't really need more than one Blizzard, but I can go ahead and upgrade this and just make it fire off faster and do more damage. That doesn't seem like a horrible idea, so okay, we'll do that. We'll go ahead and harvest up all of this gold. Let's free up this tower, because a bunch of enemies are probably going to spawn in just a bit as well, so I'd like to make it easier to clear them out. Another chest over here means we can upgrade our weapon, our lumberjack's axe over here, make it more effective, more damage, attack speed, size. I'll go for the attack speed. That seems fine. Sure, why not? That's okay. Does not increase your harvesting speed, by the way, only if it is taking a swipe at some enemies, but you do not want to neglect your character. It is important that your character is getting better and better at combat. Another Blizzard Bellows? You're kidding me. All right, well, I don't really benefit much from the Cursed Ballista because it gains damage if you have minions. I don't have minions. So fine, we'll just go ahead and get a very, very, very early level 3 Blizzard Bellows. That is not the start I would normally want to go with. I'm trying to find an angle here in order to get a build going, but so far the game does not seem to want to deliver anything to me, so okay, we'll just stack up what we've got. Gonna mine up all this stone, then bring it back, get this thing healed. Make sure every once in a while you just check the road. Sometimes there are trees that are going to be blocking your path, and that's not good because, well, if the castle gets stuck, then enemies can catch up to it. If enemies catch up to it, then it's going to die, and that's all terrible. Let's get these upgrades up over here as well for my character. More damage, attack speed, size, blah, 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 blah. I'll get some size, I guess. Sure, we'll just kind of hedge our bets a little bit. Dealing larger swings isn't a bad idea. Got a special enemy up over here. Another okay, you're killing me here, guys. I'm going to do a reroll. I wouldn't usually spend my gold on this, but we'll do... Oh, my God. We'll do a reroll. Necromancer Tower. Finally, something different. Okay. Minions are pretty good. There are decaying minions who just run out and target the nearest enemy, and there are explosive minions. All of them are solid. You really can't go wrong. I find necromancy to be a very, very good way of playing the game. Let's not run into that guy. I don't feel like dealing with him. We've got a special little tower here. If we stand in this circle for a long time, it's actually going to kill all enemies that are in the circle. Can be useful just to clear out some large groups. I think it can get you a lot of XP, but otherwise it's not a huge deal. Well, if you're going to spawn big enemies like this, I'll take it. Boom! Give me that XP, boy. I'll take it all. All that beautiful, beautiful XP. Grab it while we can, because the enemies are about to swarm in a big way here. Oh my God, I'm stuck. There we go. Okay. Your character can die. You don't want that to happen. It's not usually the end of the game. You'll just spawn a new character, but he does end up being a bit weaker. Between all these options, I'll take the harvesting speed plus 20%. That is fine. And we have so much XP, I can get another upgrade. All right, I'm just going to take another Necromancer Tower. We'll place that over here so we can generate even more minions. Now, as you progress down the road, what will happen is you'll sometimes run into these big sanctuary sites, which is what I am at right now. A gate is going to close behind us, and we're going to have a moment to breathe, shop for some upgrades, and so on. We can also go over here and get ourselves a whole new weapon. What do we want? Rotating ice rays, rotating saws, or a firebomb? I'll take the ice rays. That's not a bad thing. Freezing enemies is good for defending my castle as well as just doing a bit of extra damage. The gate is up, so we're set there. Perfect. Now what you can do is just run around here and try to gather up any resources sitting around. It's freebies. There's no reason to rush. But what you will want to do is decide to go either to the left or to the right, depending on a reward that you want. If I go to the right, I can get an upgrade for my weapons. If I go to the left, I can just get some more gold, which I'll be able to use to buy some upgrades at the shop, which is also over here. You can only do one of the two, though. I'm going to take the weapon upgrades and just make myself stronger. I think that's going to make my life easier as we progress. You'll walk into this giant stone circle here, and now you have to survive for, I think it's 47 seconds. It's an oddly specific number for reasons that I don't think I understand, but okay, it's fine. Now, enemies will continue spawning in larger and larger groups, so surviving here can be a little on the tricky side, but if we are clever, I think we'll be able to manage. So I'm just going to run around here and keep killing them. Gather up lots of XP. This is another opportunity to get a few upgrades farmed up that away, too. You really can't go wrong just by having lots and lots and lots of XP. Now, I know we're not at the castle right now, but one of the things you may have noticed, I do tend to focus on getting my upgrades in kind of the north and south directions. I don't like to build the sides too much. It's not a bad idea. Eventually, you'll have to. But the reason I do that is if you build the castle wide, it's more likely to get stuck on some obstacles in the road, and that can mess you up, so why bother? 15% more damage, size on the axe is fine. I mean, it's more opportunities to kill more enemies at once. So we'll just call that more AoE. Let's go to the shop down here. Good opportunity to spend some of our money. More Necromancer Towers. Ooh, and vacated houses, increasing minion damage. If we place a bunch of them together, they're even more effective. Sure, that's not a bad option. I'll take it. What else do we want? Another Necromancer Tower. Sure, we can do another one. I'll place one up here toward the front, I guess. Forests, more markets, blah, blah, blah. I'm just going to do a reroll. None of this really excites me. Cursed Ballista does more damage for every active minion. Stacks up fairly nicely with what we're doing. Explosive minions, more minion damage, blah, blah, blah. Well, I have to make some choices. I'm going to go ahead and pick up the Sapper Tower for the explosive minions. That's fine. And we'll grab another vacated house just to boost up minions. I'm going to commit to this. We can get more Cursed Ballistas later, but this is fine. So I think I'm pretty happy with what we've got here. We got one more upgrade for us. Adjacent towers do more damage. Sure, I'll just place that right there so all of our minions are stronger. And we will leave and get ready to move on to the next wave. All right, here we go. Continuing down the road. You can destroy some of these buildings, by the way. It's not even a bad way of getting yourself a fair bit of extra stone, so I'll do that since I'm currently waiting. You also do gain some XP by harvesting, so if you don't kill enemies, you can still really get around, but generally speaking, it's really, really good to be killing enemies for your XP. Another Sapper Tower. Sure, I'll just commit to getting more of these in the back. That's fine. We're really going hard on the minions here. I think I'm going to commit to just pure Necromancy. Necromancy's strong. What can I say? It's fun and it's strong. All right, let's go ahead and clear out some of these roots like so. Enemies are just going to keep running around and clearing out anyone who gets too close. Go get them, Bob, Greg, Larry, I don't know, Jerry, Harry. There's so many Harrys. We can do whatever we want. It's fine, it's fine. Keep running around over here. I'm going to run forward a little bit because I think there are some loots over this direction. There are. If we destroy this little tower over here, it gives you like a little compass-looking resource. That's something for progression in between runs. You get some by simply progressing and winning around, but the more you have, yeah, it's not a bad thing. Everyone likes a lot of progression, am I right? That's always good. Tons of gold over in this direction means I really want to do some serious harvesting over here. So I'm going to try to gather all of this up, but if it looks like the castle is in some danger, we'll pull back, do that, gather up some more XP. Another decaying minion, another vacated house. I'm just going to go ahead for the vacated house here, actually. That's another 7 plus a couple of extra, actually. So it's like an extra 8% damage on all minions. That's solid. I mean, the more you stack those up, I think the better off we're going to be. More gold, please! Now, I do see some trees in the road, yes, but I also see that there aren't a lot of big waves of enemies right now, so I think I've got a second to ignore it. This is a little on the greedy side, but I want the gold, dang it. I want it all. The minions are taking care of everything. This is fine. Minions are great. They really are. They can do so much damage once they start stacking up all these buffs and you have lots and lots of them on the field. This tower here is currently set up by some cursed vines. We'll just go ahead and clear it out. Now if some enemies spawn on the left side, they'll all get set on fire, which I think is great. An upgrade for our Ice Drake. Yeah, this thing could use a few upgrades. We'll make it a little bit bigger so it can hit a larger area. Dropping off more lumber, trying to increase that tower attack speed. The more towers that we have, the more value we get out of that, so it ends up being very important. Explosive enemies, trying to keep those away from the castle. Failed a little bit, but it's okay. We got plenty of stone in the bank, which means we are healing ourselves right back up. Another upgrade here, rotation speed. Sure, just hit areas faster, I guess. Whatever. Probably okay. We should be hitting ourselves another safety point pretty soon. Just trying to gather up all this gold over here. When in doubt, if you don't see gold and you're not in danger, or like you're not in danger of dying, just gather up lumber. Lumber's good. Fire dragons. I do like fire dragons. It's not a bad thing to have for a little bit of area of effect and damage over time. So I'll go ahead and place one of these over here in the back. Sure, that's great. So if a big enemy is coming after me, I'm going to have a way of setting it on fire. Good for dealing with mini-bosses, if we do run into some of those later on. Which you always do run into at least one eventually. So, yeah, I would like to have options besides minions to deal with them. Big explodey boys over here. That's no good. Let's go ahead and try to kill them. They blow each other up. Thank you. Gonna gather up all that sweet, sweet, sweet XP. All that sweet XP. It's good for me. Good for me, good for you. Everyone wins. Come on, blow up. Thank you. All right. So we're about to have the big waves coming in. You can see huge enemies. It's going to apply a bit of extra pressure to us. We're just going to try to gather up everything I can here in the back while it is relatively safe, but make sure we get the heck out of dodge before they catch up to me, because that's a very, very good way to die if you get stuck back there. And we'll run forward and start working on our next safety point. So I'm going to go ahead and clear this out, get myself another weapon. We could have attack speed that increases the more gold I hold on to. It's not bad. I could also just kind of really double up on lots of close to melee damage attacks with circular saws, and I will. I don't think that's a bad weapon. It stacks up reasonably well with the ice that I have. Do I want more weapon upgrades or do I want more gold? Obviously, I want more weapon upgrades. I like being a stronger boy. Also, the more weapon upgrades I have, the more I can clear out some of these safe waves. So it just makes a sense to stack up while it's relatively easy before the enemies start getting too dangerous. At least that's my philosophy, and I can't say that it's failed me yet. It's done pretty well. Lots of enemies spawning over here, just 30 more seconds. If you find yourself getting really swarmed in something like this, sometimes you can try to get the explosive guys to kind of clear a path for you, but kind of difficult to finagle that. So, yeah. Always be mindful of where you have like an escape path if it looks like you're about to get completely surrounded, because you can die here. And I think that's a way of sacrificing whatever benefit you would have gotten from this chest up over here. A couple more seconds. There we go. That's done. Thank you. I will take all your XP, and then we'll gather up our upgrade. If you step outside of the circle, it doesn't progress the circle there. That's kind of why you have that deadly horde, to make sure you don't stay away for too long. Otherwise, it has basically an enrage mechanic to make sure that you suffer for stepping outside of the circle and running for your life. Anyway, that's all taken care of. Good. We have a lot more XP we can drop off. That should be another upgrade. Thank you. Another sapper tower. I mean, I don't mind having more of them. They're pretty good. Except I'll put one in the front to deal with enemies that are getting too close in that direction. Right here should be a fair bit more gold. I'll take it. I could chop down some of these trees and break up some stone and stuff. It's not a bad way of getting a little bit of extra resources, but it's also just slowing down the video, so I'm not going to do that. Let's go to the shop. What else do we want to pick up? Chance for shards and stuff. More minions, blah, blah, blah. I mean, I could do this. Short range bursts. This isn't a bad thing to have more of, I suppose. Would have been better to have here. That would have gotten a lot of value. Whatever. I guess I'll just take this. That's fine. Let's do a reroll. I'm not happy with my options here. Adjacent towers have 30% attack speed. Yeah, if I place this here, we can boost up a fair bit more of our minions, so we'll do that. I'm going to do another reroll here. Cursed Ballista. We have a lot of minions now. It's actually not even a bad idea. Another Fire Dragon, also not bad. Maybe. Let's put a Fire Dragon up here in the front, a Cursed Ballista over here in the back, and we can go for more freezes, but meh. Farms, more minion damage. Yeah, let's just take more minions. Really notice how I'm building everything in this line here, so we're nice and narrow. It's very easy to make sure we avoid lots of obstacles, at least for now, but we're going to run out of real estate there, and depending on what kind of adjacency bonuses you're going for, it might make sense to just go ahead and build to the side. Just make sure you're clearing out the road. Another Fire Dragon, another Decaying Minion. I mean, it's kind of hard to say no. The more of these minions we have on the field, the better our Cursed Ballista is going to be as well. So I'll just go ahead and do some of that action. But it's probably about time we start thinking about getting some upgrades and making them more effective at this point. You don't have to build wide. You can build tall. Anyway, Just gather up more of the lumber. This is one of the reasons I like having these circular blades, by the way. It's pretty effective at chopping down trees, so you're able to level up your attack speed a lot faster, and that is great for you. More upgrades for our weapons. I will take it. What are you going to give me this time? We're going to go for damage on the spinny ice stuff. Yeah. I mean, we'll use that. Sure, it's pretty easy to use that to slow down enemies and stay at a safe distance, so I'm good with it. Another little circle thing over here. If you do hold this long enough, it explodes all the enemies next to the tower or in the circle. So if you have a lot of big enemies that are coming after you, this can be a way of getting yourself huge amounts of XP. So I'll take it, but I don't have a lot of enemies trapped there, so it didn't actually do a lot. Oh well. We also got ourselves an upgrade. I'll just take some raw damage on the axe, I guess. That's probably fine. How's the castle looking? I keep calling it a tower for some reason. It's not a tower, it's just a castle, but my brain struggles at times to record roguelikes, I'm not going to lie. Got a lot of things to focus on the map. It's not too complicated of a game, though, which I do like. Let's get an upgrade for the fire dragon, place it in the back. Lots of damage over time, ends up being very, very good. Level 3 dragons are very strong. We like those a lot. Okay, my tower's going to start taking a lot of damage. We had an obstruction in the road. It does passively try to push through them. So if you'd walk away, there is a chance that the castle will eventually just push through and make progress anyway, but it's not generally wise to walk away for too long, so we're not going to do that. Some enemies can spawn from this creepy little tree over here, so we'll just go ahead and destroy some of that. Oh god, that's a lot of enemies. Okay. I'm going to break down that church because there's a lot of gold to be had. And we're just going to stay close to the castle for a minute because the longer this run goes on, the stronger the enemies become. And as you can see here, they are getting dangerously close. I got a bit of stone stockpiled, so we can heal if we need to somewhat, but we should try to help wherever we can. This tower right here could help for sure. Let's do that. Kill off enemies getting too close. Lots of XP starting to drop over here, though. I like that. Okay, grab all those. I could use a little bit of health on my character. A little bit of health wouldn't be a bad thing, wouldn't go amiss. But the minions are doing their work. They are doing the Lord's work. Getting some increased harvesting speed is certainly useful. I'm going to go ahead and start widening out the tower a little bit. It had to happen eventually, and 20% more harvesting speed is honestly great because I can start mowing through all of the rocks, all the trees, and so on, and it just makes me a heck of a lot stronger. Always be thinking about how you're going to be doing your scaling. That is the best thing you can do. Let's see. We have big enemies coming in from the right, I'm aware. If we slow them down with my freezing rays, it's not the worst thing in the world. Minions are doing their job. They're slowing them down. They're killing them. I'm getting more XP drops. Yeah, I'm feeling pretty good so far. This is not the best run I've ever had, but I mean, it's certainly not a bad one. What I really need is just upgrades for my minions. If I can get them a little bit more effective so they last longer and do more damage, they'll be great. So let's see if we can't pick that up once we get some more upgrades. More Necromancer Towers, more Sapper Towers. That's all that I care about. In case in point, we can pick that up. Or we can go for a more Cursed Ballista, so it just does more damage. If I do that and get that up to level 2, what happens? That's a pretty respectable amount of extra damage, actually. Plus, we get even more. It says only 20%, but I don't believe it. It should be more than that. But that said, I'm just going to go ahead and continue upgrading the Necromancer Towers. I said that those were going to be good, and I'm just going to commit myself to that path. What we want for our last weapon? Obviously, it's going to be Ritual Daggers. It has a chance of turning enemies into minions. And since my castle gives me a lot of extra benefit for my minions, makes them stronger, and makes my ballista stronger, the more minions I have on the field, the better off we're going to be. Also, it's nice to have some sort of a ranged weapon in case some enemies get dangerously close. Again, more weapon upgrades for me sounds pretty nice. So just going to go ahead and pick that up. Now, I don't think the daggers spawn minions every time. I think it's like a 10% chance, but it's not a bad option to have. It's really not a bad option at all. Wow, I took a lot of damage there. Okay, let's try not to die if at all possible. Some explosions might save me here. Thank you. All right, that cleared out a little bit of space. Trying to run around here and slow down enemies, getting a little uncomfortable. Getting kind of cornered here. This doesn't make me feel good about my current situation in life. No, I don't like it. I do like the freeze rays, though. They're actually they're the only thing that's keeping me alive, to be honest. They're the only reason I'm able to build out any serious amount of space. There we go. Lots of XP. I'll take all of that, thanking you. Gather up a new upgrade. What do we want? How about just 20% more damage? I mean, it's not like the ice rays do an absolute ton of damage to begin with, but sure. They're pretty constant damage, so I don't mind taking it. All right, we used up all of our health upgrades over here, unfortunately, so we're not going to be healing anymore. More level up so we can get some Sapper Towers. I will take one. Yes. Again, I like getting the fire dragon, but this is fine. Going to the shop, what do we want? Even more sapper towers. Well, don't mind if I do. Let's get that level 2 as well. Another necromancer tower. Get you upgraded. I don't care about the rest of this. Let's do a reroll. More necromancy towers. Yes. Get some upgraded level 3, I guess. Could go for more vacated houses, and since I'm already building in this direction, this actually is going to give me a lot more damage, so I'll take that as well. More rerolls. Sure, more necromancy towers. I mean, you really can't go wrong. Anything else here I really want? I mean, producing some stone and some wood is not bad, but it's really only good if you get a lot of them. That's how you boost up its speed by a ton. I guess the only other thing I could think to do is just get more gold so I can get more upgrades to the shop, but I don't think it matters that much. We're getting kind of close to the end of this. Sure, more of that. Why not? Yeah, we'll just keep committing. More explosions. Level 2 up there, and that's going to have to be good enough. Okay. That's a pretty big power spike. I don't think there are any more shops from here on out. So unless I'm much mistaken, gold shouldn't be very useful to us unless you have something that scales with the amount of gold that we have. For example, I believe we had seen earlier that we had some golden pistols that could have been our weapon of choice. That would have been a way of increasing my character damage by a lot, but I didn't pick that up, so it doesn't matter. So gold is no longer that important. That's why I kind of wanted to spend as much as I could. Instead, let's just go ahead and gather up preemptively as much stone as I can, since I'm pretty confident we're going to start taking some damage. And of course, the more lumber I grab, the better off we're going to be, because now we really want to have our castle firing off fast. All right, a mini-boss is spired. It is random what you're going to get on this last pass before we get to the Ark. Sometimes it's like a giant spider, sometimes it's like this giant living tree ant thing, I don't know. In this case, we have spinning towers. One of them is going to go immune and make all the towers immune for a short time. If you can just knock down its shield, then you'll be able to start doing damage to all of them. Once they die, that's going to be the end of things. So, I mean, we just have to basically hold on long enough. Try not to let your castle get stuck on any of the rocks. Try not to get swarmed by enemies. Eventually, if you have built your castle well, it will win the fight for you. Just don't let anything touch it. Weirdly enough, I don't think I've actually experienced cases where the mini-boss does much damage to the castle itself. It mostly just really distracts you so that the minions are able to get through, and that's a good way of getting yourself killed. But we're doing all right over here so far. This is why I do like having the ice rays. They're good at slowing down enemies, so I buy myself enough time to actually kill all of them. Where's the shield? There it is. Let's go ahead and clear this sucker out. Come on. There we go. One more shield down here. Nope, they're all done. Good. More level ups. More explosions? I mean, it's kind of hard to say no. More adjacent damage is nice, but okay. Okay, I don't mind. More explosions are good. Oh, wow. Whoa, my hero died. I didn't even notice there were some huge enemies there in the front. Whoops. All right, we'll place down a gravestone, wasting one of my spaces. But yeah, these big enemies over here didn't even notice they were there. That's why I died. This is why I'm saying that it's not GG if your character does fall in battle, though. It just wastes a little bit of space on your castle. Not optimal, but not the end of the world at the same time. Very close to finishing off the towers over here. Let's just try to kill you. I'm going to try to help this along. Use my axe, use my blades, use my rays, and it's gone. Okay. Those all go away. Boom! To everything in sight, which means we can gather up tons more XP and also any resources that had dropped on the ground, and there are a lot of them. Drag as much of this back to the castle as you can, but we're very close to our sanctuary. This whole time we've been trying to get to something called the Ark. The Ark is how we are going to say that we've won this map, so it does have an end. We're close to it, and as long as we can survive the remaining enemies, we'll be fine. Honestly, though, I mean, a lot of big enemies are going to spawn, but, like, we should be safe from here on out, I think. It's not very likely that we lose here. Unless, of course, there's a big obstruction. Let's see. Burn, blah, blah, blah. I mean, sure, whatever. I'll just take 1, 2, 3 burns. Make our dragon towers a little bit better. Now, here we are. There's the Ark. Hey, look, it's a bunch of little mages sitting on top of the walls. They're shooting the enemies as they come in. Yes! Hold back the giant wave of enemies! We just need to keep them back. Keep them back. This is where having ice towers and nice ice rays are great. What do we want here? An upgrade to the fire dragon. Screw it! Let's get an orange golden dragon and kill them all. I like it. It's just, yeah. We should be fine from here on out, though. It's only the easiest level. It's not like it's a huge deal. There's another fire tower over here, by the way. Let's pick that up. Thank you. Set them all ablaze, my brothers. But we could just run forward and basically just run its course. GG, guys. We are fine. No problem whatsoever. Now, this is only on a normal difficulty. So you can imagine that at some point these enemies have lots and lots of health, and they are going to be very difficult to deal with. There are also 4 different roads in the game with different types of enemies and different special like random mechanics or effects. Like, let's say, lots of gold mine carts or ice on the ground or whatever it's going to be. So there's a fair bit of replayability to be had on that, which is certainly going to be fun. However, it's very, very, very difficult to beat higher difficulties until you've managed to get some progression in the game. So let's just go ahead and move forward here, and what we're going to see is we're going to earn a bunch of these little compasses based on the distance we traveled with our castle. Also, there's going to be some special little upgrades if you can complete different like little objectives, freeze enemies, travel a certain distance, whatever it's going to be. This is going to lead us to the progression menu, and from here we can get ourselves some character or castle upgrades, which is going to make it so that we are stronger and able to take on the higher difficulties. This, by the way, is new. This was not here last I played the game. There was a patch very recently then. Interesting. Start the game with a certain amount of gold, amount of stone, blah, blah, blah. I mean, I don't really care about that too much. Okay. Character upgrades could be useful, increasing our damage, our harvesting speed, our movement speed, whatever that we care about there. City health, damage to obstacles, thorns are destroyed easily. I'm going to go ahead and boost up the city damage by a couple of levels like so, and then we're going to increase the range of our towers a little bit more, and maybe the attack speed of our hero. Okay, I feel happy with this. So the more upgrades you have, the easier things are going to be. And that is Monsters Are Coming in a nutshell. It has a fair bit of replayability. I think that it could use a bit more, though, and part of that is just going to be a matter of unlocking a collection. So you'll see here, so far, what I've managed to unlock is a pretty substantial number of like different towers and weapons and such, but it does feel very old at some points. It feels like I've played with a lot of these like way too often. What we can see here, though, is that there are lots more weapons to upgrade in the game. You just have to complete a lot more of those special little mini objectives. And that's probably my number one criticism with the game right now. Progression does feel a little slow, because you start with a lot of things, and you really have to fight for every additional unlock. Whereas it'd be kind of more fun to draw players in with a lot of really zany combos kind of early on, and in order to get better, yeah, you have to really commit to it. The really good stuff takes some work, but I don't know, you don't get that dopamine drip too early. It feels like the first 5 or 6 runs are kind of samey, and that's not good for a roguelike like this. Of course, let's not also forget there's progression with the castles themselves. We played with a very basic one, but there are some pretty cool ones that have, let's say, a mirrored effect. So when you place down a tower, you get a symmetrical one on the other side. There's a special castle where you can only get XP from harvesting, not from killing minions. It changes up the gameplay experience, but again, you have to really fight to keep unlocking all of these castles. I would like the progression to go faster, just so I'm able to work on increasing the difficulty level, rather than just doing the same run 20 times, in order to get my next weapon unlocked. You know what I mean? Even so, I think this is a pretty fun little indie game. I've had a few hours invested in this so far, and there's plenty more that I could put into it, and I probably will. If you guys like this game and you want to check it out, I'll include a link to the Steam store page in the description down below. Otherwise, if you enjoyed this video, found it informative and helpful in some way, then I would ask you to hit that like button, leave a comment, subscribe, hit that notify bell, and I will see you guys next time.